Good to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Hello. Hello. I see you guys waving at me. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Hello, hello. Just going to let everybody join really quickly. And then we are going to head and get started with today's super fun slime making activity. Elmer's and Michael's have teamed up again to put another awesome video together for you guys. Hello. Everyone keep waving to me. Say hello. Hi! Oh, it's so nice seeing all of your beautiful faces. So excited to have you guys here. Just gonna give it one more second to let a few more people join. Like I said, we're gonna be making slime today, so make sure you have all your slime materials ready. You have your bowls, your glue, your glitters, everything we're gonna need to make your Twinkle Star transparent blue slime today. And I'm gonna walk you through all those ingredients again and instructions on how to do it. I'm also gonna teach you how to make some slime tricks. So I hope you guys are ready. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So thank you guys again so much for joining. Elmer's is here again. We've been partnering with Michael's all week long to put together some awesome slime and crafting activities for you guys. Who has joined one of these sessions so far this week? Is anybody? Woo! I see a lot of hands. That makes me so happy. I hope you guys have been having as much fun as we've been having. I've been watching all of the crafting activities. I love seeing you guys' creations. I'm really excited to see your awesome slime making skills put to the test again today. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Courtney. I work for Elmer's, so I'm back again teaching another slime class. You can see, if anyone knows what this is a gallon of glue on my t-shirt here. It's pretty awesome. Absolutely love making slime. I learned everything I know about making slime from you guys. So at Elmer's, I actually work specifically on a slime team. As you guys know, Elmer's makes so many different products that I specifically get to make and play with slime all day, every day. I made slime earlier today. I'm surprised my shirt isn't messy because I was totally making a mess, but I absolutely love it. So I'm really excited to share my passion with slime with you guys here today. So just a quick recap of the week. So if you guys haven't watched any of our videos so far live, that's okay. You can actually find everything we've done so far on www.michaels.com/classes. And those videos are, we have a rolled paper flower activity. Who was in that session with Jonathan? You made the really pretty flower. All right, seeing a lot of hands. I hope you guys still have your flower, you gave it to someone special, or just kept it yourself, whatever you wanted. That video is online. We also had the crunchy spring slime recipe with the emoji jar. Who was on that? All right, seeing a lot of hands. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. So that was a really fun crunchy slime. It had a lot of really nice texture. We also decorated some really pretty jars. You can see they're kind of in my background over here. So loved that activity. If you guys want, you can do that one. And then yesterday, Jonathan was back again to make a really beautiful rainbow salt art canvas. Who was a part of that awesome video? Yay! Oh, I love that so many of you guys have done all of these activities. I hope that one too. I hope it dried really nicely, and then you can either, again, gift that one or keep it for yourself. And for those of you, like I said, who didn't get to join, all the videos are online at michaels.com. And so this video today is also going to be recorded. So as we're going through, if you have an ingredient that you're missing, you can always go to michaels.com, purchase that supply, and then you can rejoin this video when it's posted on, again, michaels.com/classes whenever you need. And so not to, get ahead of myself here, but my friend Alex is going to come tomorrow and teach a really cool craft. It's a foam rocket ship that's going to be out of this world. So if you guys haven't signed up for that one yet, there's still time. You can sign up for it. Again, it's tomorrow, and you can go to michaels.com/kids clubonline. And so my friend Raina is going to help. She's going to add in these links for you guys so you can see them in the chat. But definitely feel free to sign up for that one as well. Round out a really awesome week of Elmer's and Michael's partnering together. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the ingredients that we're going to use for our slime today. So just to give you guys an idea on what we're going to be making, so this is the Twinkle Star transparent blue slime. And if you guys know me, you know I like my slime a little sticky, so it's a little stuck to my jar here, but it is gorgeous. Like, look how beautiful the color is. It is so glittery. It's got these really beautiful little stars in them and all different sizes of glitter. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. And then I'm going to be teaching you some slime tricks too. We'll talk about that. But to make the slime, the first thing, of course, you're going to need is Elmer's glue. Who's got it? Hold it up. Let me see. What kind of glue you guys got? Ooh, I'm seeing metallic, clear, I'm seeing blue, purple. These look awesome, guys. I hope you guys are so excited. Glue wall. All right. So what I'm going to be using today is this blue transparent Elmer's glue. I have a 5-ounce bottle of slime just to make a single batch. So that's what we're going to use for our glue today. But again, if you have any color glue, you are more than welcome to use it. It doesn't have to look just like mine. I'm going to show you how to replicate this slime in this jar here today, but if your slime looks different than mine, that's great. The only rule of today is to have fun and be creative. So there's no right or wrong, no worries at all. I love all the different types of glue. So in order to turn our glue into activator, I have 2 different activating ways that I'm going to show you guys today. The first is going to be baking soda and contact lens solution. So if you guys have that, I'm going to show you how to turn your glue into slime using this method, but I'm also going to show you using Elmer's Magical Liquid. So if you have either of these options, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to make it both ways. I'm going to show you like tips and tricks on how to see if your slime is, or if your glue has actually turned into slime so you don't get too messy and sticky with your hands. And if you don't have either of these options, again, you can always go to michaels.com to purchase some supplies and come back and see us again later. Not a problem at all. Once we turn our glue into slime, then we're going to add some pizzazz, of course, and turn our blue slime into our Twinkle Star slime. So going to be using a bunch of different glitters. I have some here. I have like a blue, a green, and again, you can pick whatever color you want. I have some fine glitters that I'm going to pull from, and so we'll add that, and then after that, of course, we need to add our stars to make it our Twinkle Star. So I have these really awesome kind of confettis here. I have a couple different stars that I'm going to be putting in. We have some big ones, some small ones. Yes, I'm seeing all of these ingredients, guys. I love it. You guys came prepared. So that's what we're going to do to make the slime, and then of course, you just need something to mix in and something to mix with. I have a bowl and a spatula. You guys can use whatever you have around. You can use craft sticks, spoons, anything that's going to hold your glue, and anything you can use to give it a good old stir. And then for the slimes tricks portion, guess what, guys? You don't need anything else. You just need yourself. And I'm going to talk you through that. So we're going to be making the signature slime swirl, which I'm sure you guys have seen in YouTube videos, gives those beautiful lines and makes that really nice kind of puffy slime that has all that air captured in it, so you can just crunch it all out. It makes that really nice slime crackle sound. It's my favorite part of playing with slime, personally. And then I'm also going to attempt to show you how to make a slime bubble. And again, you don't need a lot of people for that. You can just do it yourself. I'm going to show you how to do it. And on the bubble, I'm just going to say it now. Don't get nervous. I'm nervous, but don't get nervous. It takes a lot of practice. It's definitely, I'm going to just talk you through and show very slowly the way to do it. And look, I may not make a bubble every time I do it, because sometimes the slime says, I don't want to make a bubble right now. And we say, okay, we're going to try again. And we're not going to get frustrated, because this is fun. Slime is all about fun, and that's what we're here to do. So I'm going to before we jump into the actual slime making, just give a quick pause. So if you do have a question, go ahead and send them to Raina. And then Raina, if you know of any questions at this point, now could be a good time. We can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some kids asking if they can use white school glue, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
And can they use the glitter glue?
Yes, definitely. You can definitely use glitter glue. So if you're using a white glue or even a clear glue, if you want to turn it into a blue slime like mine or any color, you can add food coloring if you have them around the house, or you can just keep it white. You can keep it clear. And then if you're using a glitter glue, you can either choose to not add any additional glitter when I add my fine glitter, or make it extra glittery and add as much glitter as you want. There is no right or wrong. These are good questions.
Yes, and we have someone wondering if glow-in-the-dark glue will work.
It will definitely work. So when your Twinkle Star is shining bright in the day, it's also going to glow in the dark. So absolutely.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see that one.
And I think that's it for now.
Perfect. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get into the slime making. And just so you guys know, when you're done with this activity, again, I love to see all your creations here. So I'm going to ask you to keep holding them up. But even after this session ends, if you've made a really awesome slime that you're super proud of, make sure to grab an adult, a parent, older sibling, someone who has a social media account, and use the hashtag #MakeItWithMichaels and tag @Elmer'sProducts so we can see all of your awesome creations. So now slime. I know that's what you guys are all waiting for. Let's just get to it. So I'm going to clear my space really quickly, move some things over to the side. I'm going to try to do it gently. That way my video doesn't shake. If it shakes, it's me, it's not you. So like I said, I'm going to make slime 2 ways now. So we're going to start with baking soda and contact lens solution. So I have my bowl here. I'm taking my glue, taking the whole top off. I think that's easier. We're just going to squeeze the entire bottle in, like so. It's going to make some really fun noises. And it's okay if you don't get every single drop of glue out. I like to squeeze it a couple times like this and just kind of get all those extra little glue pieces out, just because I like the biggest slime possible, don't you? All right, so then once I've emptied all my glue out, I'm going to put my bottle over to the side. So, like I said, I'm going to start by making this with baking soda and contact lens solution. So I'm going to grab my baking soda, and if you have a teaspoon, you can use a teaspoon and measure out a teaspoon. There's not really a perfect amount that's needed to make slime. This just helps the contact lens solution, the ingredient in that, bond with the polymers in your glue. So it's okay if it's not perfect. I'm just going to actually add a little shake in here. So you can see just a little shake, nothing crazy. And we're going to mix this in really good with our utensil. So I am using a spatula. And what you want is you want all of the powder to be basically completely dissolved in your glue. Give it a nice stir. I like to scrape the edges just in case some of the powder got stuck on the bowl. And then your slime or your glue has your baking soda fully mixed in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into our slime. So I'm going to be using contact lens solution next. And again, I like to not measure when I make my slime. I like slime that's a little bit stickier, a little bit more stretchy. I find it to have really nice bubble pops that way. I just like the way it feels when it's just a little tacky. Of course, I don't want it sticking all to my hands because no one really likes that. But so I like to add a little bit of activator at a time, so that way I never over add activator, because the less activator you have, the more sticky, but the more stretchy it'll be. And then the more activator you add, the more firm. It may be a little bit tougher to pull. It may rip a little bit more easily. And I prefer stretchy, but if you like yours to be a little bit more firm and have a little more pull like a putty, add as much activator as you want to get the slime texture you are looking for. I'm going to show you my way, but feel free to add as much or as little as you want, especially if you know what you're doing with making slime, because like I said, I learned from you guys. So if you're like, I know what I'm doing, I don't need you to tell me how to make slime, I just want to learn the twinkle star part, then go for it, make your slime, and I'll meet you back at the glitter phase. So now we're going to go back to adding our activator. So what I'm going to do, if you're not measuring like me, I'm just going to squirt 1, 2 for about 2 seconds there, and just a nice little layer on top. If you're using a measuring ingredient, again, I would recommend a teaspoon. And I'm just going to slowly mix in the contact lens solution. We're going to do this a few times. So again, don't get frustrated. This is a little bit of a process, but that's really the fun in it, right? You get to really watch your glue transform into slime, which is so cool. So you can see here, it's still very much a glue, but it's starting to firm up just a little bit, but definitely going to need more activator. While I'm doing this, I want to just give some fun facts while we're going along, because everyone loves a good fun fact. So we're making a twinkle star slime recipe today, right? So I think it's only appropriate to talk about stars just a little bit. So do you guys know why stars twinkle? If you have a guess as to why stars twinkle, go ahead and put it in the comments. Raina's going to read out some of your answers, and then I'll tell you what I learned about stars and why they twinkle. I'm going to add in, while you guys are thinking, another 1, 2 squirt of the contact lens solution and mix this in. Getting any guesses right now?
I am muted. No, I'm not. So I am seeing because they are made of gas, because they're little suns.
Yeah.
Because they're super hot.
All of that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I learned, so while all of
they're
that is
so smart.
You got, I'm telling you, I learned everything that I need to know from you guys. So this may or may not be news to you, but it was news to me that they actually look like they're twinkling, which is like that glimmer, you know, at night, and they're kind of twinkling back and forth. The actual twinkle is because of changes and movements that are happening in the Earth's atmosphere. So it looks like they're twinkling to us, but they're actually not. They're just burning constantly the same, you know, all the time, but we see the twinkle because of actually Earth's atmosphere, which is just super interesting. I did not know that. But they are, the sun is a star. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But what I'm going to do right now is add a little bit more activator because my glue is definitely still glue. So just add another little squirt. Again, this is just an iterative process. You're going to keep adding a little bit at a time. As you can see here, starting to kind of come together, but it's actually almost now like a paste that's like on the edge of my bowl. And ultimately what you're going to be looking for is when it actually starts sticking to itself and peeling off of the bowl, that's when you know that your slime is pretty much ready to do the hand test. You will ultimately have to get in there with your hands. That's just unavoidable. It's part of slime making. But right now, this is still too much like a taffy. So we're going to add a little bit more here. So I added a little bit more contact lens solution. And if you're like me, your shoulder may be very tired right now. And that's just because I have no arm muscles. This should be a great arm workout. You know, glue is sticky. Slime is sticky in a lot of ways. So that's okay. That's normal. As you can see here, this is definitely starting to gel up a little bit more. The fun thing too, with all of Elmer's glues actually require a different amount of contact lens solution, or any activator for that matter, to turn into slime. So some of you, if you're using different glues than me, this may be a shorter process for you. I'm gonna add in a little more contact lens solution. Okay, so here's where kind of the magic starts happening. So as you can see, as I'm pulling it around here, it's actually starting to clean up off the bowl itself, and I'm not really doing much to it. So that means it's starting to come together. It's like a nice, see how my bowl looks a little bit cleaner now? That's a good sign. That means the slime is like, I'm almost ready to be touched. So what I'm gonna do now, is I cleaned off my spatula pretty well. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna go in with just like one finger, and I'm gonna touch the slime. And I'm gonna see, okay, see how it's sticking to my finger? It's gonna do that to my whole hand if I go in with my whole hand, so I'm not going to touch it yet. I'm gonna add just a very light squirt one more time. I'm gonna take my spatula again and mix that in. Ultimately, you want your slime to not stick so much to your hands. It will stick a little bit at first because that's just what slime does, but you want it to not stick initially to just a light touch, because that means it's still too tacky. It's definitely gonna stick all in between your fingers. So I'm gonna go back in with my one finger and see how now it's not sticking to me at all. I'm gonna now just go in with a couple of fingers. And again, I like to do this just to make sure that I'm not going in too prematurely with my hands and getting it all stuck between my fingers. If you're like me and you don't like that, this is what I found a helpful way to do it. I'm gonna go with just a couple of fingers and almost like pinch the slime, pull it up, and kind of do that all around the edges here, so I can get a good feel of, is this gonna stick everywhere, or is this about ready to go? So you can see it's still a little tacky. I'm getting a little bit of streaminess, but it's pretty good. So now I found a spot, see right there, that's still too sticky, so I'm gonna add a little bit more contact lens solution. I'm actually just gonna press it in with my fingers now. I think it's about ready to pick up. So I'm just kind of folding it over, pressing my fingers into it, trying to get the contact lens solution mixed in fully across the full slime. So that way there's no more part that sticks. So just kind of grabbing an end, pulling over, pressing into it. Also is a nice way to do some slime ASMR by yourself, which never hurt. So now I'm gonna pick up my slime, and I'm gonna start pulling it, stretching it, using my fingers to kind of really mix in that last bit of contact lens solution. You can see I have this really pretty blue slime here. Squish it between my palms. Oops, see, it's a little sticky. Yours is doing this to your palm like mine. That's okay. There's always time to continue to add more contact lens solution. Again, if you pick this up and you're like, oh my goodness, this is sticking everywhere, I don't like it, either ask a friend, a parent, whoever, to just squirt a little more on your hand and just fold it into itself. This is definitely, you know, there's no one size fits all for slime. That's kind of what's like awesome about it. Speaking of, there's no one slime fits all. What is you guys' favorite slime to make? Like, what, do you have a favorite glue that you like to use? That you have a favorite type? Like, there's butter slime, fluffy slime. Today we're making this, you know, extra glittery slime. Like, what's your favorite kind of slime? Go ahead and put that in the chat, and Raina's gonna read them out to me because I'm curious what you guys like to make.
I'm seeing cloud slime.
Ooh, cloud is
And thick
fun.
slime, fluffy slime,
Fluffy, yep. Pink and fluffy go nicely together too.
clear.
Clear is so cool.
I'm seeing a lot of fluffy. That's pretty popular. I see
All right.
butter.
Butter, yep, that's my favorite. But I do love a good fluffy. It just like oozes between your fingers so nicely when you squish it. It's so light. I love butter because when you get to press it in your fingers and it just does that really nice lay down. It's so smooth. It's like not very sticky, but like has a really nice feel. Cloud is super fun too, and you get the really nice drizzle. That's super satisfying to me.
Yep. We've got crackle and milkshake slime.
I don't know what that is. I want to talk to you. I want to know what that is. That's so fun.
Glow in the dark slime.
Yes, love it.
I'm
Here that's going to be making glow in the dark slime today. So
awesome. Iceberg slime.
iceberg is super fun too, and you get to crack the top and you get to look at all the pieces. That's great. So hopefully you guys are where I am at and you have a base slime ready to go and you're ready to pizzazz it up like I am, because I'm getting ready to add some glitter in. So we'll switch back here so you can see in my bowl. So I have my nice light blue slime, and again, yours can be any color that you want. And I'm gonna start by adding in just chunky glitter. So I'm gonna add this blue one. I think is gonna look really nice. So I'm just gonna shake a nice layer on top. I like that this is kind of the same color as my slime because it's gonna blend in really nicely and just give a nice like sky kind of feel to the top. I'm just gonna press that right in. I like to press it into the slime before I pick it up and mix it in, so that way hopefully it doesn't kind of go flying everywhere. I like to make kind of press with it when I do that. Really kind of press it in nicely. See here I have some of the blue glitter mixed in. You can see it coming through. Looks really pretty. I'm gonna put this back in my bowl so I can add my next glitter. So next I'm gonna add this pretty green color here. I think that'll complement the light blue really nicely and stand out. So again, I'm just gonna shake a little bit on top. I don't want too much of this because I don't want to change the color of the slime, but I'm gonna put a little bit of green, kind of like earth. And again, I'm gonna press that right into the slime here. And again, I'm gonna fold my slime over so that way the glitter doesn't go everywhere when I pick it up. Now I'm gonna pick it up and mix it in because I want the glitter to be evenly dispersed across my slime. Oh yeah, see how as I pull it apart, it's starting to mix all the way around? This is looking awesome. I like the way this looks. I'm gonna add some more glitter to it though, because I don't know about you guys, I love glitter in my slime. I'm gonna take my packet of glitter here and I'm gonna add this silver. So I think the silver is gonna give a nice color to it. So I'm just gonna open this up. You know what? I'm gonna need to go grab, oh, there we go. Okay, got the edge off. I'm just gonna dump all this glitter in. For me, you can't have too much glitter. If you're like, this is already too much glitter for me, feel free to not add more glitter. There is nothing wrong with that. So now I have this pretty silver glitter on. I'm gonna press that on top. And again, I'm gonna pull my slime up, fold it over so I have a nice slime top to it. Press that in. And again, so at first you may get glitter all over your fingers, but as you mix it more thoroughly into your slime, it actually is probably going to stick to the slime more than your fingers. Mix it again all in. Look how shimmery and sparkly this is. I am obsessed already. And I haven't even added the stars. I haven't even turned it into my Twinkle star slime yet. But it's already so pretty and glimmery, just like a beautiful sunny day. All right, so once you have a slime that you feel like has enough glitter in it, it is time to add the stars. So again, speaking of stars, so we kind of talked about this earlier, but the sun is a star. And the sun is actually a medium star. So there's like all different types of sizes. You can kind of bucket them into three. There's like small, medium, and then giant. And so the sun is a medium star, but did you guys know that the super giant stars can be the size of our entire solar system? That is insane to me. I don't know about you guys, but that is just the coolest fact ever. I mean, you think of how big we think the sun looks, And we're so far away from it, so it even looks smaller than it actually is. So the fact that there can be a star that's as big as the solar system, I hope we get to see a picture of that at some point, because that just sounds so cool. Now, we're not going to be adding stars that big to our slime today. We're going to actually add a couple of different sizes here, though, to mimic the different sizes of the stars in the atmosphere. So if you can see here, I'm going to add these like more translucent ones. I just really like the way that they look. That's a small star. I'm also going to add another small star here. These yellow ones I just think are really pretty. It does kind of remind me of the sun. And then there are other 2 stars sizes down here. I'm going to add these big ones at first. Maybe my other one, I'll add these middle ones. I will say with these big stars, because they're so big, they're really pointy. So just be careful. I would maybe, before you add the whole packet into your slime, just touch them on the outside. See if they're a little too pointy maybe for you. It doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to say as I was making the other one, they are pretty pointy in the bigger size. So just be careful. All right, so I'm going to start by adding the small ones first. Let's have the yellow. And just open up my packet and sprinkle it all out. Ooh, these are pretty. I'm going to go ahead and add these at the same time. Just dump all the stars in. Oh my gosh, doesn't that already look so pretty before I even mix it in? All right, let's mix it up. Press. And mix just like this. Oh my gosh, this is already looking like a beautiful twinkle star slime. I love how subtle kind of these little stars are. Like when you pull it apart, you can really see how pretty they are. I love that. It just adds a nice little shimmer. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna put this back in and top it off with our big chunky silver stars. Like I said, feel free to skip any of these if you don't like them. I'm just gonna add all of these because I want mine to be extra star-like. All right, here's my big stars. They're so shiny on their own. I love that. Mix it in, and this is our twinkle star slime. Is she not beautiful? Absolutely love this. If you have just made your twinkle star slime with me, let me see. I want to see what it looks like. Yay! Guys, these are looking really good. All right, we have beautiful twinkle star slimes of all colors. I love this. This is me and mine. All right, so I'm gonna save this slime for later. So I'm actually gonna put it in a container. If you don't have a container, that's okay. You can continue playing with your slime. I'm just gonna quick make this same slime with magical liquid. So those of you who have magical liquid activator, instead of your baking soda and contact lens solution, you can go ahead and get your slime made, and then we'll go straight into the slime tricks from there. So if you're gonna be making that with me now, I'm gonna go ahead and grab your bottle of glue. I'm gonna do the same thing we did before. We're gonna add the glue completely into our bowl. So same thing as before, I'm just using a 5-ounce bottle of blue Elmer's translucent glue. And like I said before, it's okay if you don't get every single drop of glue out. That's not a problem at all. I just like to get it until kind of the glue bottle stops dripping here, as you can see. Just give it a couple of extra squirts, just because, like I said, I like to make the biggest slime possible. So now that I have all of my glue out, now it's time to activate. So if you remember before, we had 2 steps that we had to do to activate our slime. With magical liquid, we actually don't even need baking soda. We can just go straight and add our magical liquid. So in the same way that I did the baking soda and contact lens solution, I'm actually not going to measure this, but if you would like to measure your magical liquid into your bowl, I would recommend adding 1 teaspoon, mix, another teaspoon, mix until you reach your slime consistency that you're looking for. But I'm just gonna eyeball this. So I'm just gonna take my bottle, and it's okay if your bottle is, this is a very big bottle here. It's okay if your bottle's a little bit smaller, and I'm just gonna add like a dollop, about like a quarter size, because that's like kind of similar to a teaspoon. That's probably incorrect, but that's what it looks like to me. So now you can see I have my little dollop of magic liquid in here. I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in really good. And like I said, we're going to be looking for the same things as when we were using the contact lens solution. So we're going to be looking for the same kind of cues of the slime starting to stick together and not necessarily to the bowl as our indicator that, okay, this slime is ready to be kneaded with our hands as that final kind of step. So this actual slime mixing process may look a little bit different with magical liquid and contact lens solution, even though the result is the same. I like to think this looks a little bit more like a jelly consistency, but as you can see, this is still very runny, so I'm definitely in need of more magical liquid. So I'm going to add another dollop. Rena, do we have any questions at this point?
Yes, there's some saying that their slime isn't as stretchy. Is there anything they can do to make it more stretchy?
If you want it to be more stretchy, honestly, what I would suggest is to just let it sit for a couple of minutes. So actually, when you continue to mix your slime, play with it, and you squish it, and you stretch it, and you squish it again, that is actually for you're continuing to activate your slime actually as you play with it. So I would actually recommend just putting it back in your bowl or any sort of container, or just leave it on your table and let it sit for a few minutes. And then once we do the slime tricks, we can try it out again, and then hopefully it'll have softened up by that point.
Gotcha. And can they use the magical liquid with any kind of glue?
Any of the glues that make slime, yes. It does the same job that your baking soda and contact lens solution will do for any of the glues that you typically use to make your slime.
Yay.
Yes, very exciting.
And I think that's it for now. They're all playing with their slime. I've got some kids saying this is the best slime they've ever made. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, hear that. That just made my day. Okay. Let me finish the slime up for those of you following me with magical liquid. So as you can see, the last step I just did was I did add another kind of dollop of magical liquid here. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. So you can see, yeah, this kind of looks a little bit more like a jello texture. So I have one more star fun fact for you, and then I will have one Elmer's fun fact, because I know you guys are waiting to hear that too. So for the next fun fact, so we talked about how there are different sizes of stars. So I'm just curious what you guys think, and go ahead and let Raina know. Do you guys think that the smallest stars actually last the longest, or the biggest stars last the longest? Let me know what you think, and I'll give you what I learned today afterwards. I'm gonna keep mixing this slime here. So you can see it's starting to kind of come together, but again, it's still a little runny, so I'm gonna add more magical liquid. Another drop. We getting any answers, Raina?
I actually am seeing small stars. It's a pretty big group saying the small stars last the longest. I've got a few biggest stars in there.
Okay.
But I think small is our majority.
You guys are all correct. The smallest stars actually are the ones that last the longest, and it's because, like I said, you guys probably know this. I didn't remember this from probably when I learned it a little while ago, but the smallest stars actually last the longest because the giant stars are actually burning their energy so quickly that they actually burn out a lot faster than the small stars. So there you go. You guys were right. I thought it was a cool fact though. Maybe you didn't know why. And if you did, just smile with me because I thought it was a cool fun fact. I'm glad I learned it today. And I'm going to stick to what I know, which is slime. So let's go back here. All right, so this is definitely starting to turn into slime, but it's still clearly very sticky because it's still sticking to my bowl. So I'm going to add a little more magical liquid there. Give it another stir. Okay, there we go. So now, as you can see, starting, and I'm going to keep mixing. I know it's starting to come together. I'm going to keep mixing like this. I really want to wait until it gets to that point where it starts picking itself up off the bowl. And that's because sometimes when we're using our activator, it's actually just kind of that like outside. If you think of like a ball of slime, it's actually sometimes just the outside of the slime that's activating, but the inside is still really sticky. And sometimes that's where I make the mistake, where I'm like, oh, this looks ready, but then the inside of the slime is actually totally not mixed in well at all. So I feel like, oops, I'm sorry, I just hit my camera. So it's starting to pick itself off the bowl, but not completely. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Then we should be good. So I'm going to continue to use my spatula until I do my test that I showed you guys earlier. So now you can see it's really starting to come together, starting to kind of pick up off the sides here of the bowl, which is so satisfying. I don't know if anyone else likes that, but I definitely am a big fan. Starting to come together. So now it's pretty much cleaning my bowl for me. So that's a pretty good sign that I am ready to do my finger test. So I'm going to first start by seeing if I can kind of just roll the slime off my spatula here. Use the slime to clean all of my supplies. Can kind of pick it up itself, which is super neat about slime. It definitely likes itself more than it likes anything else. So now that my spatula is clean, I'm going to again go with just one finger to just touch the slime. And this is actually pretty good. It's not really sticking to my finger. I'm able to easily pick my finger up, and it's not really leaving any residue. So again, I'm going to go with just a couple of fingers, feel it out, press it into itself, kind of fold it over itself, just some light mixing before I go in and grab it with both of my hands. Just to kind of do some light mixing here. And this is feeling pretty good. Got some nice sounds to it. So I think this is ready to be touched. And again, if I grab this too prematurely, I can always add more magical liquid. So it's not a problem at all. So I'm going to give it its final kind of mixing so that way this base is ready, and then we'll add glitter, finish this one up, and move on to our slime tricks.
We've got someone asking, what's your favorite color of slime, Courtney?
Ooh, my favorite color. That's really tough. I feel like it depends on my mood. Because like today, I'm definitely loving this blue, but I also love pink and I love purple. So I don't know. Sometimes I like to mix them all together and go totally crazy. Kind of like a unicorn slime. Those are really fun. So I don't know. That is a good question. It really just depends on the day. Yeah. And sometimes like if you like to add scent to slime, like I like the color of the scent to match the slime that I'm making. So sometimes that can influence what color. But I guess if you just had to say pick one, it's probably blue, actually. Yeah, probably blue, but with glitter, definitely.
Oh, definitely glitter.
All right, so, oh, something else?
Oh, yeah, we have someone asking, do you have any tips or tricks on how to get all of the glue out of the bottle?
Honestly, time. Just to be patient and just to continue to hold it upside down. Sometimes we see online people getting really creative and using like racks to put over their bowl and sticking the glue bottle in it upside down. That could be one way. If you have an adult, they could maybe help cut the glue bottle open and scrape it out. But it's not necessary with making slime. You can have a slime this big, this big, this big, and it's all going to be super fun to play with. So do not stress at all about getting all of the glue out of the bottle, because your slime's going to be just as fun no matter how big it is. So don't worry about it. But if you just were curious, yeah, just time. I don't have a great other answer. That's a good question.
All right. You're getting lots of, this is the best slime I've ever made. This is my new favorite. Yeah, you're doing great.
Great, fantastic. So glad to hear it, guys. Keep playing with it. Let me finish this one up, and then I'm going to teach you these slime tricks. I know you guys, well, I hope you guys are excited about that too. So to finish this one up, next we need our glitter again. I'm going to change this one up just a little bit. I'm going to add, again, my blue, because I do really like the way this looks in my slime. I'm going to add, to this one, I'm going to add like a nice amount of that thicker layer of glitter here. Do the same thing. I'm going to press this in nicely. I love that kind of crunchy sound of the glitter. Pick it up, lay it over itself again, kind of squish my fingers into it. Still a little sticky. Like I said, I like my slime a little sticky. Fold this over. I also like the slime to be a little bit sticky when I'm adding glitter. So that way it holds the glitter in a little bit better. But to each his own, like I mentioned, absolutely no right or wrong. All right, I'm thinking this is looking beautiful. I'm going to add some more glitter though. I'm going to skip the green glitter just because, I don't know, I just want this one to be a little bit different now. I'm going to make this one super blue. I'm going to take my fine glitter here and I'm going to add this one right here. a really pretty teal color. It's kind of the same color as the glue almost. Put that to the side. Tear off the edge here. Oh yeah. Look how perfectly this matches. It looks so pretty. Oh, I love it already. Just glitter. I don't know. Big glitter fan. All right, so now that I've laid this layer of glitter on top, I'm gonna not have the paper stick to me. I'm gonna press this in again so you can see like it's totally stuck to my fingers right now. But once we fully mix this in, do not worry, it should stick, actually should come off your fingers and go right into the slime, which is super cool. Mix, mix, mix. All right, so yes, go ahead.
Oh, we've got someone asking if they can use water to deactivate their slime a little bit.
Water could work. Yes, your glue actually has water in it, of course, but you can do that. It could be a little messy. I really would just suggest maybe letting it sit for maybe a little bit longer, depending on how much activator you put in. I would hate for you to ruin your slime once you put the water in, because activator may not help to make it better again if it deactivates too much. So I would just try, and I know it's hard because we all want to just go in and just play with our slime fully, but try to just let it sit for a few minutes and let it just soften up and then try it again. That would be my best suggestion. And even leave it open. You don't need to put it in a container. It's okay.
And what's the best way to store slime?
I would say in a closed container. So that can be a sandwich bag, it can be a container. Michael sells these really awesome 8-ounce jars that are perfect for keeping a single batch of slime. Something that is closed, I find, is the best because it really kind of seals the air in. Once extra air is added in, sometimes that can stiffen your slime. Or so that's my favorite. Is I like to have something that's nice and closed and sealed tightly so that way no extra air can get in and mess up my slime. And then hopefully, if you're using Elmer's products or even baking soda and contact solution with Elmer's glue, it should last hopefully up to 7 days. So
should they store it in the fridge or just out in a cupboard?
No, room temperature. Yeah, just out anywhere, on a table, on your nightstand, wherever, in a crafting room. Doesn't need to go in. I wouldn't put it in the fridge.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So I think this glitter is pretty much mixed in. You guys can see here. It's looking really pretty. I love that it matches the color of the glue. And we're going to add our stars and call it a day. I'm going to take my other pack again because I'm going to use just the small ones this time. So I'm going to use these little pretty kind of like clear ones and then the yellow ones here. Like I said, I'm going to skip the big ones down here, but if you want to add these, go for it. I'm just going to keep them nice and small today.
Courtney, how many times have you made slime?
Ever? Many. I don't know. That's
how many times do you make slime in a day, like at work?
Oh, so it depends on the day. Some days it's usually some days it could be just 1 or 2 just to try something new out. I realized actually, I don't know that I answered this question in another video, but I had a fun fact of how many times does our chemist test slimes before we launch a new product to make sure it's up to Elmer's quality. We got an awesome range of answers. The answer is actually 500. So as you can imagine, not only are the chemists testing it, but working on the marketing team, I want to make sure that the product is fun because I love making slime. So if I don't think it's fun, I would think probably not many of you would find it fun either. So some days I make it once, twice just to, keep my skills up to date. And then sometimes, we have events going on or some reason that I make 30 in a day, just kind of depending on where I'm at. And then usually by that point, I'm like, all right, this is a lot of work. But usually when we're making slime like that, it's like all different types of slime, which definitely keeps it interesting. You can never really have too much slime, can you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm hoping none of you on here think so. Ooh, I'm seeing some people showing me their slime. Those look beautiful. All right, y'all. I'm going to just finish this one up really fast so we can move on to our slime tricks. Just mix in all of my stars here. I have this beautiful blue, transparent blue. I should say too, so I know the recipe says transparent blue, and this of course doesn't look totally transparent right now. Usually when you mix in your activator into your slime, it creates all these like mini kind of air bubbles, which makes your translucent or your clear glue kind of foggy. If you let it sit in a container over time, it can actually clear back up, but it depends on how much slime you have as to how long that takes. So, all right. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling real good about this slime right here. It's super stretchy. It's super glittery. I love it. And I think I'm ready to move on to our slime bubbles and slime swirls. So I'm going to just move some things out of my way here. Take my bowl a bit to the side.
I have an unfortunate question.
Okay.
What is the best way to get slime out of long hair and clothes?
Yes. Good news. Elmer's, if you used especially any of the Elmer's glues we talked about today, they are washable. So good news for the clothes. If it's in your clothes, I would say just generally for anything, warm soapy water is the best way to get slime out. So same goes for your hair. You can use just your dish soap that's at your counter. And just a little bit of pressure, at least for your clothes too. Once you get a good, like, depending on how much you have in your shirt, and I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Once you get most of it out, when you put it in the wash, it could just take maybe a couple of times for it to fully come out, but it shouldn't stain your clothing, depending on what ingredients you did use.
And hair, anything for hair?
I would start with soapy water again, but hopefully just with washing with shampoo, I'm very hopeful that it comes out of your hair.
Me too.
I'm surprised if it didn't. I wouldn't stress too much. I'm sure it's going to come out. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to teach you, and we can keep our hands out here. We do want to keep it away from our hair just in case, but I'm going to show you how to do a slime swirl first, and then we'll go into the bubble, because I think this may be a little bit easier than bubble. So you can see my hands. I'm going to stretch, and I'm going to get it so long that I'm going to kind of fold it over itself a couple of times first, just to get kind of used to the feeling. Stretch and kind of fold it over. It kind of depends on, let me try to get under the camera here better. Fold it over itself. So if you get a nice good stretch, you can see here, kind of just get used to that kind of feeling. And you guys could probably see me doing it while I was mixing. So once you kind of get the hang of that sensation, you're going to stretch and kind of go around in a circle once and regroup with your hands here. So around, back to the center, and that's what's going to get you your really nice slime lines. So pull out and around, back, grab the center, out and around, back, center, and that's, like I said, is going to give you those really pretty slime lines. Out, around, center, pull, and around, center, pull. And we're going to keep doing that a couple of times until I'm going to unstick it from my fingers here. I like to use my fingertips. You can see here, actually, like I'm holding it really just in my fingertips on this hand. Whichever your dominant hand is actually the one that I hold the slime in. And then with the other side, I'm using my fingertips. And I'm actually kind of guiding with my thumb. You can see the slime is kind of just on my thumb here. And that's just that way I get a nice kind of like even distribution. I let my fingers go so I can get, to me, this just feels natural. You can kind of see the swirl forming there. So once you do that a couple times, swirl, pull out, swirl. Now that I'm starting to get those really pretty lines, I'm actually going to take my dominant hand, take the slime, stick it on my surface. And this is very good. If you wanted to use like wax paper or something, pull up and just use your wrist to kind of get a nice circle there. Kind of let it sit for too long. And then you can crunch it together and it's got all these really nice like air bubbles in it, which is, like I said, my favorite. So let's do that again. So we're going to pull with our fingertips around in a circle. Pull with my fingertips, use my thumb to go around in a circle. A couple more times. You can start to see the lines forming here. And then once you get it, and you can have a more compact swirl that kind of folds over itself like this, and then unstick with your fingers and use that to get your bubble pops. Or you can do it like I did the first time and make it a little bit wider and then really kind of scoop it up. So no right or wrong. This takes some practice. This kind of swirl over, I think, is the hardest part to get the line, but once you do, it's pretty satisfying, I would say. And depending on what kind of slime you're making too, like a butter slime will have even more defined lines than a slime like this. It's a little bit more clear, but they're all fun all the same. So now that we have got our slime swirl down, I'm going to show you how to make the bubble. So I'm going to move even more stuff out of my space here, just in case. So what I like to do is I like to have my slime and kind of flatten it out on my surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just use a couple of fingers. And like I said, if I don't get the bubble on the first try, it's okay. We're going to get there. I'm doing my best. So we're going to grab just kind of the end. I'm kind of folding up the slime here. I'm going to pull up and out. Now, you're going to get this motion here, and ultimately, you'll want to flip it over itself and stick the edges to your table, and that's what makes your bubble that you can pop. So let's do that a couple more times, because I know it's hard to do this virtually. I wish I was with you guys so I can show you. So I'm going to, again, start with my slime kind of flat on the table here, and I'm going to grab just like enough that my fingers cover, my fingertips kind of cover the top. You don't want to grab the whole slime. You want a good solid base stuck to your surface. So again, I'm going to pull up and out in this kind of like triangle motion. And I'm going to gently give it a wave and then flip it over. Kind of hard to just try to back up here so you can see the bubble a little bit more clearly. Just going to stick it to my surface, pull up, and you can see when I get a nice thin layer. And if yours breaks at this point, that's okay. The glitter isn't perfect for this. But when you flip it over, you can see I kind of have this bubble here that now I'm able to pop and squish, pick up off my surface. So I'm going to keep doing this. I want you guys to continue to make your bubbles so I can watch you guys. I'll be watching you while I'm doing this. I'm not going to look at my bubble. And again, this takes a lot of practice. So I'm just, again, trying to show you the technique of grabbing a little bit between your fingers, having it stick to your surface, pull up, out, yes, up, up, up. And we're going to give it a nice, gentle, woo! Oh, did you guys see that? That would have been so cool. It would have been so big, but it broke. That's okay. That's honestly part of the fun. It's all about like, ooh, what's going to make it better this time? Maybe if I go a little bit slower, sometimes that helps. Let me keep seeing you guys do it. And if you have friends with you too, or family members, you guys can always just grab different ends of the slime instead of sticking it to the table and get it to this nice thin part. And again, ooh, that worked, it stuck to my fingers. If you guys pull it apart kind of like in a square motion, you can also do that and get it really thin and then all just at the same time put your slime down on the surface. That's how you can make a super big bubble. But I want you guys to be able to do it by yourself because if you're like me, sometimes you just want to play with slime, just you. Do you have any questions about that?
No, we have some questions asked. We have some kids asking, what if their slime isn't stretching? Do they just leave it sit for a bit?
Yep. Yeah, I would let it sit for a bit and come back and try this again maybe tomorrow, even if depending on how much your slime isn't stretching, if you don't feel like it's stretching like mine. And you can always retry to make another slime. Like I said, it's kind of, there's no right or wrong and there's no perfect. So keep at it. Like this should be fun. This should not be stressful. If yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. It takes a lot of effort doesn't take a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time and practice to get this done. So that's okay. But yeah, I would just let it sit and then give it a try. You can always come back to this video when it goes live tomorrow on michaels.com. You need to get more supplies to try and make a different slime. Sometimes I will say adding too much glitter sometimes can make it hard because if I'm pulling it like this, you can see the glitter kind of weighs it down. That's why for this one, I didn't use as much glitter, but it'll still work. But here's my bubble. Sometimes maybe try with little wet glitter, like just play around with it. Every slime is different. Again, it does depend on the slime texture that you use too. So just keep at it, but hopefully this method of pulling and flipping over is helpful for you guys to make your slime bubble. So with that, is there anything else, Rena?
No, I just have a lot of kids playing with their slime, saying it's the best slime ever. You're the best slime teacher ever.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you have your slime, hold it up with me. Ooh, guys, these are looking so good. I love all your Twinkle star slimes. This was a wonderful session. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I do hope you continue to play and love your slimes. And I hope you come back and see us tomorrow when Alex does her foam rocket ship project. Rewatch this video, rewatch any of Jonathan's videos, the crunchy slime video on michaels.com. And thank you so much. Make sure to tag us in your slime creations or your slime bubbles on hashtag Make It With Michaels and at Elmer's Products so we can see it even when we hang up here. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Thursday and hope to see you guys again. Bye, everyone. See you later. Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you guys later. Thanks again.